that the London Spitfire are going to go with a old dive comp here. It'll be the NYXL. They're going to play Roadhog Wrecking Ball. Interesting combination. You usually see Roadhog comboed with Orisa here. And Libero takes Birdring out right away. That'll be the London Spitfire who have to back out. London knows they can play a dive comp here, Mitch. They know that they're either going to play the Orisa comp and just kind of turtle and bunker a little bit in YXL, or they're going to play something like this. They don't have the opportunity to play like a D.Va in play and play something that's a little bit more traditional. So you can get aggressive on the support.
Yeah, I mean, Bidossin, though, Moira is a close-range healer generally, but his tanks are dive tanks. Gesture and Fury want to be in the enemy team's face. Birdring and Bidossin are going to have to follow them. But Nene goes down early here. The entirety of the Spitfire collapse on him. Bidossin following the rest of his team to be healing and damage in equal measure. The Libero, pretty safe, man. There's not a lot on the Spitfire that causes him great problems.
And the two plays that happen there to set this point flip for the London Spitfire, it's Nene getting hacked by Prophet. They take him out on the Roadhog. He now switches over to Tracer. And then they also get a hack onto Mono, who's the other tank at that lineup, and he has to back up from the point. Wrecking Ball can't really do anything when he's hacked. So those two hacks from Prophet really set that up.
So all eyes on the Sombras so far. Both teams are fielding them. Both teams are trying to use them to shut down enemy tanks. But the Spitfire has done a better job of that so far, and so they hold the point 30% to 20. A lot of back and forth early in this round, and Birdring looking for an opportunity to put this pulse bomb to good use. Libero's got to be careful. He's flying a little bit too low to the ground there. Violent Grasp from Bidossin's going to take him low, and there's an EMP. Sabiobi's caught by that one. He can't counter EMP even if he wanted to, but Libero and Nene had the damage. Both Prophet and Birdring, very slippery DPS heroes, get taken down straight off the bat. Libero has had a fantastic team fight.
So yeah, I thought Quatermain may be able to stall that out for a little bit longer, but ends up falling towards the end. No surprise, you see an EMP used. It's usually going to result in a team fight win. It's quite odd to see New York. You know, you have Sabio on Sombra and Nene on Tracer, right? You know, maybe you would have wanted that the other way around. But Prophet now with an EMP here for the London Spitfire. Let's see who he can connect with.
I mean, Prophet EMP'd in the previous fight as well. Sabio was just able to survive and get one of his own. Prophet thinks about it. He's not going to head in though. Quatermain's already gone down. Losing the Lucio was pretty average for the London Spitfire because they're trying to close the gap. They're trying to get to grips with New York, and without a speed boost, that's much harder to do. But Mano's gone down. Prophet's able to pick him off at range, and yeah, it looks like that's the starter's pistol. They're going to keep going now. Libero and Jonak are hacked, and so Libero's going to float down to the ground. He can't get airborne, and he's very vulnerable as a result.
Yeah, Mono gets really weak because Birdring connects on the Wrecking Ball with a Pulse Bomb. And on the way out, he's just trying to get out. Prophet sprays him with a few bullets, takes him out. So you'll have Sound Barrier here for the London Spitfire for some extra sustain. They're probably not going to use it just yet. They want to wait until that EMP comes out. And now you have Libero play Brigitte here.
That's the respect play.
Yeah, I mean, you're having Brigitte and Lucio come in, so this is just going to have some more support for Jonak.
Just eyeing off his potential entry points into this fight, and he opts to go for a pretty upfront approach. Getting a lot of healing for the time being, and the Spitfire control the point. It looks like Jonak might have been caught out of position. He gets a repair pack, and Gesture has to abscond briefly. Now with that EMP connecting, Gesture can't take to the skies with his rocket jump. He'll need to chill for the time being. And then Ace is trying to sprinkle some damage here. Gesture might be an ideal target for his Pulse Bomb, that bit of extra damage to finish off a big tanky body. But the NYXL now need to regain control because London are at 99%. Nene looking to assassinate. He gets in with a stick.
Yeah, London's just going to try and, they were going to try and juggle the point there and just play around the EMP that Prophet had coming on. Just trying to cycle players in when you kind of juggle the point, like maybe your D.Va goes in for a touch to extend it, then your Lucio comes in, then your Tracer, right? Just get that percentage up on the EMP. They're not able to do it, so New York will flip the point, and you do have a lot of ultimates here coming online for the NYXL, so they're in a pretty good position to make the comeback on this point.
This map so far is delivering. These two teams refusing to give an inch. Sabio be there. Yeah, he was actually revealed for a brief moment as he tried to filter through the Spitfire roster. He gets away though. He'll need to be healed up. He was out of the action though, and that was an opening for Prophet to go in for the EMP. Nene's already gone down. He couldn't blink away, but Mano pretty healthy right now, as you can see. Sound barrier provided by Animo to give him that extra durability, but London couldn't get to the point. Mano, the large body that he is, blocks London from pushing out of that small side room onto the point and contesting.
You also had a nano boosted Brigitte in play there as well. I believe nano boost plus rally on the Brigitte.
That's pretty powerful.
You love to see it.
That depends on what side of the field you
Yeah,
are.
I mean, if you're liberal, I mean, that is a ton of fun, probably, yeah. If you're London, not ideal.
Listen,
So
sometimes you just want to
well-
feel powerful. Hold mouse 1 and the W key. That is an unbeatable combo when your nano is Brigitte. You don't have a cheat code.
So let's see what London decides to do. Looks like just going to go kind of... So this is what I expect London to try and do now, is play the traditional, the original GOATS triple tank, triple support, the Reinhardt in play. NYXL doesn't have their diva
They're
Mekko
not
in the
fielding
lineup,
Mekko at all.
so they're
right.
going to have to play Sombra, which, I think if you are a really good Reinhardt-based like GOATS team, you will beat this comp. It's just, how does New York play around their Sombra? I think it's something that they're trying to learn, figure out on the fly.
London know that New York won't play the
Yeah.
diva here. Their roster selection gives it away. Fury got DMX so early in the fight. Constant damage from Jonak to begin that one weakens the London Spitfire, and as the engagement begins, they realize that they are outmatched. Not having that mech to rely on, that hurts. The fire strike couldn't be mitigated, so a lot of early damage from Mano to open it up.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, you get the DMEC on a Fury right away, and now you're going to be able to take the point with 0 fight from the London Spitfire there. So, CBLB did not look great against the Houston Outlaws. I think
He was
everybody
ranked
can kind of-
26 out of 27. in
everybody can
stats.
agree on that. But it's his first game in a very long time, playing a hero that he probably didn't
He
expect
said
to play that much.
he hadn't been practicing that much in that post-game interview. He wasn't like
We know how important he is and was to NYXL last year with just his calling and just the ability to clutch certain scenarios. I think you really want him back in the lineup for those type of reasons as well.
Saw him on camera. Sabiobi is calling for everyone to group up for an EMP. He's hiding in the corner. About to hit that Q key and it connects. Fury couldn't get away, so now that mech is grounded for the time being. A manual hack even used on the Prophet, so we can't provide any barriers to the London Spitfire as they're caught up inside the Graviton Surge. Say what you like about Sabiobi's previous performance. That was very clean, Sombra play.
I mean, look, that's why you wanted him in the lineup. Obviously to play Sombra, but then also being able to call those different type of engages, right? It just seemed like they were missing him in the lineup to be able to make those like game time decisions, like where it's really, I don't want to say easy, but it's kind of easy to call when the game's going well, whatnot. Like when you're getting down to like the last few moments, usually it kind of tenses up for everybody, and even the callers, like, well, I don't want to call this and gonna kind of get blamed for it. You need somebody who's gonna got the balls to make the decision there. Where I think he definitely is the one for NYXL who steps up to the plate. Grab here used by London. NYXL pretty far. They're gonna Earth Shatter out of this.
Yeah, we saw Mano there attempt to go for an Earth Shatter, but he was knocked off course, and the Spitfire had a lot more time to react to the fact that ultimate was going to come down as Reinhardt's Earth Shatter doesn't trigger until he actually touches the ground. If he can knock him up, it'll be longer before he gets to use it. And he's immobile during that time. 90% for New York here. London have to do something. It's got to be a sound barrier-based engagement. Vidoshi,
Yeah, but
talk about balls. He's got Transcendence there. In a moment, they're going to have to use all of these support ults, Matt.
I mean, you have a Graviton Surge in play
No
here, and
chance!
they're not even going to get on the
They
point.
walked in. Oh, God.
They don't even get close. I mean, the grab's not even used there by
No.
NA. NYXL, they're just laughing. Like what was that?
Vidoshin's looking heated right now. Not happy with the result there for the London Spitfire. They had to commit to that fight, but the communication, perhaps the wires just got crossed. The threshold of the point definitely didn't get crossed. First map going over to New York here, and map 2 is just around the corner. This one promises to be epic.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
So hit scan damage, very simply, just means damage that has no travel time in the world of the game. Hit scan, like McCree, you just shoot wherever your crosshair is. As soon as you click a left click, it'll hit them. Conversely, a projectile is something that you actually throw out into the world of the game, and only if it collides with an enemy over time will it actually deal damage. So some of the classic hit-scan heroes in Overwatch would be McCree, Widowmaker, but many heroes blend that definition. And the characters that are all projectile would be characters like Genji, like Pharah. All of their weapons have travel time, which is really the key element of a projectile.
The NYXL feeling pretty good about that first map. It was not a long one. If you went and got a cup of tea, especially you Brits out there, then yeah, you missed out on London C9ing twice. Well, here's your man, the married man, the man with a plan, the Renaissance man, Saviolbi, looking pretty good on the Sombra early on.
Yeah, and I think with him in the lineup, really, I mean, outside of running like some more damage dealer heavy comps, it's no surprise what NYXL is going to be doing. You did see towards the end of that point, you were wondering, like, how did London not touch? There was a grab used, but there were only 3 players inside of it, and you still had other players alive there for London, so didn't really know. Maybe the people in the grab were the ones who were designated to touch the point. It was over by the pillar there on Lighthouse. Rising Lunar Colony, though. Next map up, you can play some Sombra here. They did it the other day. And it didn't look like London really had an answer for it, right? I mean, they did not look good against that on Lighthouse.
I mean, and the reality is that, you know, New York have changed their style. They've gone away from playing triple tank, triple support. They brought the Sombra in instead of the Diva, and it is a composition that is designed or expected to be strong against that aforementioned 3-3. That's why New York made the shift. It looked pretty good.
It is strong against 3-3, but like, let's say London comes out, Prophet goes over to Zarya here, and they run out. Like, all you have to do is force Saviolbi to just translocate. You need your Diva to just put pressure on the Sombra, force the Sombra to translocate, then you push through the other team, and they just don't have the same HP.
So you think, like, all things being equal, the 3-3, that standard composition is better?
Yes, without a doubt.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one and see how these two teams match up, because it is going to be that juxtaposition of team compositions. New York going to have the Sombra, London going with a 3-3. Now they want to try and cross to safety here. There's a lot of open space that they need to navigate, and, well, they're not going to go outside to do it, so no one's getting flashed out the airlock quite yet.
But see, here's the thing, though. You need to go, because I was just going to say, the more you just kind of, like, stand around and wait here,
what are they waiting for?
Saviolbi is going to just farm up EMP, and then at that point, hey, NYXL has come. That's definitely better, right?
How does Bedosha get back to his team now?
You know, you have to have everybody come back. Everybody's going to
at least Fury will. Oh my gosh, Jonah.
But look, I mean, Saviolbi is now going to be able to just get on to one of these players and try and farm him again.
Okay, dude. Yeah, and look at him. He translocated back to a great position now.
But look, before their push even goes through, he's going to have EMP. Because there's so many large targets, right? I mean, he just goes, spams a little bit in the back. He's going to get it pretty quick.
Hi there. Hi there.
They're backing up because they know he's going to get EMP quick. They want to fight on point.
Yeah. And there's NYXL are going to keep giving them ground, keep backing up. Say, okay, London, you can take this real estate. We're going to collapse on you on our terms. And you can see that Saviolbi is absolutely the linchpin here. He is waiting. Oh, look at that. He's getting vocal. Bedoshan's close to a Transcendence, so Saviolbi needs to connect with the Zenyatta as well. He doesn't do it. Bedoshan comes down and gets the Transcendence, but Jonark's picked off Gesture before he could benefit from the healing. And so that big ultimate, the Transcendence that Bedoshan was carefully trying to curate and bring into the fight, essentially does nothing.
Yep, and then now for NYXL, this is where you start just rotating these ults, right? Now you have Grav, you have your own Transcendence. When they get their Graviton Surge, you use that. Saviolbi farms another EMP. And this is like, the strength of the Sombra comp is that you can just, like, if you get EMP and you win that fight, and you just start rolling these ultimates, I mean, it is tough.
Nene playing back that. I mean, a Graviton Surge is on the high ground. Why not? Oh, London! Oof. London calling. They need to bring their team back and give them urgent medical attention. Ouch! And Jesse, what are you doing, man? Yeah, hanging out with the boys. Yep. Modelo time. Cool with it.
He's laughing. There's nothing he can do there. But I mean, now if you're London, You come in, you use Grav, let's say. You know that they don't have a D.Va, right? So you're not scared of it like getting eaten or whatnot. But you know that they have Sound Barrier, Transcendence, and Rally. Like, what are you getting
support
out of that?
ultimates.
Yeah.
And look, by the time they cycle through those, Matt, they'll have another EMP, they'll have another Graviton.
So here's your thing for London, right? You use it, you get some of their support ultimates out, then you think you come back, you have your own. But then they have another EMP, they use EMP, you don't use anything, they get those ultimates back. So.
Okay, that's a grab from the London Spitfire here. Fair few of the NYXL players caught in there, but the follow-up just wasn't available. And the Transcendence, of course, from Jonak. Only one of the support ultimates that New York have been banking actually had to be used there. And Sabiobi now is baiting. He's just pretending that he's going to be jumping in with a Transcend counter until it's time to actually get it done. But Benoshi gets his Transcendence in this fight. That is something. But one small gesture dies before he can benefit from that Zenyatta healing. And again, Benoshi's Transcendence, it's all for naught.
I mean, as soon as the EMP comes down, they just all focus gesture. London actually had a pretty good grab. They got a few players inside of it. When Gesture went to go get a pin, he wanted obviously to pin Mono away. He actually hit Jonak, who was actually using Transcendence, so you got nothing out of the grab.
Time is short.
Yeah, I mean, you're in trouble if you're London.
13 seconds and counting for London to even touch the point, and that's going to be difficult. There's an Earth Shatter and a Graviton Surge. Nene can just let this one rip now. Fury didn't eat that one up. How are London going to touch the point? I'll give you the big tip. They're just not.
That was not competitive, man. I mean, NYXL just came in, London looked real bad there. It's NYXL using the Sombra way more effectively today than they did against the Outlaws.
No doubt about it. Sabi will be looking great. So in New York. Next half Horizon coming up. London Spitfire looking pretty forlorn. Even so early in the series, it has not been the kind of start that we're looking for. But as you know, Plains, they need pretty long run rays. This is the face of a man who was told he would get to play Overwatch today and then hasn't really gotten to do that at all.
I mean, it's been tough for everybody on the London Spitfire, but especially Gesture, right? I mean, he's had a tough go here against the Sombra that NYXL has brought out today, where if you were London, though, you watched the match yesterday, you should have been prepared for this a little bit.
We would have to know, expect to be playing into this Sombra kind of play. London have played, up against Shanghai plenty of times, but as an aside, the Eternal versus the Uprising. Paris v Boston coming up next, by the way, if you're watching right now, Twitch, ESPN app, Disney XD. For those who are watching on the television box, you can switch over. Yeah, you'd think they knew they were playing a Sombra. London have managed to deal with teams who use Sombra on multiple occasions. This should not be anything new for them.
So now they're going to play Winston on defense. No Zen. They're going to play Ana instead. So this comp you can use against more damage dealer heavy comps, right? Where the Winston on defense, where maybe you could have used it on the offense as well. Mono now play Reinhardt. No surprise here is, look, NYXL, they only need to get a tick on the point. You see that little golden mark at the top of the screen. you can easily just farm up an EMP, wait for that, use it, and it's going to be very difficult for London to fight that back. So
New York do not look like you're in a hurry, Matt.
no. Let Sableby get in position. Let him farm a little bit. Use an EMP and take the point. I mean, that's about it.
Dronark
all they
looking a
have to
little
do.
bit worse for wear there. Jester did get a Zarya bubble and was able to drop down and push.
He got slept there
Yep.
behind.
Sableby got caught out there, and now New York are in a bit of a pickle. They are deep in enemy territory. They do not have their Sombra, so they have nothing to take attention away from their front line, and as a result, they are going to get mulched.
And now we'll see what happens like for NYXL. It'll be interesting. Like if this doesn't work for a few pushes, right? Like start to get in trouble. What do you swap off of this to? You don't really have an option if you're New York, right? You're kind of stuck on this comp. I mean, that is the difficulty about having Meko not in the lineup instead of Sableby, is that you do not have another composition to fall back on. Unless somebody here has secretly practiced Diva to a high level that we do not know about yet, but still, it's highly unlikely.
Yes, safe to assume that hasn't happened. Animo and Nene can't be healed right now. That biting. Oh! Ooh, but he almost picked off Animo there. Animo has his own sort of healing, but when he gets hit by that body grenade, it doesn't work anymore, and Bedosian almost picked him off. Now, Sableby, yeah, he knew he would get slept if he hung around too much longer.
Yeah, you don't want to send just Fury back. I mean, maybe a hack comes out, and then he gets taken out really quickly. Gesture may get the effects of the nano boost here. Nope.
Watch a grenade
Grab
here.
instead.
Ooh, okay, so he tried to get a grenade below that Reinhardt shield did Bedosian. It didn't quite work out. A nano boost on towards Gesture, but he gets hacked, so he cannot close the gap and get in touch with his more aggressive side. Nene has a Graviton surge here, and he just lets it rip straight away. This might be nasty for the London Spitfire. The EMP! It hurts! That's going to leave a mark. Gesture at least gets himself a sound barrier, but London, for all the ultimates they brought into this fight, even though they paved the way so well, an EMP and a Graviton surge, I heard, that's a pretty good combo.
Yep. You can have all the ultimates you want. As long as the other team has that EMP, they are in a good spot to take the fight. Still only one tick needed there for NYXL, but it was real clean.
It's their cruise control for the NYXL, and London are in a bit of a tailspin. Halftime coming up now. We'll discuss exactly what's going on.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile, and by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
My ultimate is charging. Apagando las luces. The objective is now. Double. Locating. I'll take the objective. One up. Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
The NYXL are trying to keep a hold of that number 2 spot in the overall standings, and they're taking care of business so far. Up 2-0 over the Spitfire at the break. What's up, everybody? Malik here with Zoe and Sideshow. Guys, you seen the London Spitfire? Where are they?
I don't know.
Well, they did not show up today, and I couldn't be more angry. I think I'm now, I finally understand Brent. The disappointment.
The disappointment.
It hurts. I've never been disappointed. I've never been
Welcome
doing
to
like
being
that.
a UK fan.
Yeah.
A fan of anything British.
That's not working out for me. I don't think I'm going to do that one again.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, when we started off the match with Helios, it looked like that, they could possibly get a little momentum going in their favor. The London Spitfire looked like they were going to be strong, but then NYXL, they capped the point, and it was downhill from there.
I was impressed. I did criticize Sebiolvi's Sombra a lot because he did not play that one well in the first time we saw them this week. However, now he looks like he has plenty of practice on it and is actually pulling some pretty darn good moves. A lot of those EMPs have been the winning factor for the New York Excelsior, and London Spitfire got barely anything done.
Yeah, it's because they give him all the space in the world to be able to work. I mean, you can't allow a Sombra the free reign of the map and just all the time he needs to be able to...
Yeah, London doesn't even play like there is a Sombra on the map. They don't seem to give it any kind of credit.
They wander around and they're like, oh, where's the Sombra? Where's the Sombra? But it just gives Sebiobi all the time he needs and all the space to run wherever he wants. Yeah. Whereas he should be forced to go and help his team.
Right.
But he can just do anything.
You're right about that. And we moved to Horizon. It was a lot more of the same. It's like Sebiobi went to Ding's Sombra School of the Gifted. Like, he's completely different.
Yeah, but for real. London got an overall of 5 fractional kills on the entire map. All right, that just hurts. And if we looked at the statistics, it was just like really bad across the board. I really felt for Chester in this particular match. He got almost no peel, no support whatsoever. Quatermain did very little to no poke. We saw Fury getting absolute no peel done. I'm not quite sure if they were really just like on the lookout for the Sombra the entirety of the game because they didn't do anything.
I think that's the big thing. I think they're so scared about Sebiobi playing this style where he goes and kills Badoshin in the back that they are constantly worried about Badoshin, so they don't actually move forwards.
Right.
So then they've just got all the time in the world to be able to build up the EMP.
Right. I mean, well, they should be, because Badoshin was getting picked. Sebiobi was back in that back line, completely ripping them apart. All right, so before we move on, if I'm not mistaken, Sideshow, you have a little something for us, don't you?
I do. I've got an Insights powered by Intel where I'm going to run you through some of the problems that London faced during that match. So here's the situation at the beginning. So they had allowed Sebiobi to be able to generate his first EMP. They wait until Gesture goes in, EMP, Badoshin uses his trance. So they use trance to try and stop that EMP. That means when the next grav comes in, they have nothing. Quatermain hasn't built his sound barrier. They don't have that trance. They get wiped. The next time when they come in, again, Sebiobi, they've taken so long, he has another EMP. Again, they go for Gesture. Again, Badoshin uses trance. This is the final grab. This time, Quatermain has his sound barrier, so all hope is not lost. But there's only 5 seconds left. Libero drops down, bashes Quatermain, and stops his sound barrier coming out. So a great play by Nenny and Libero to sync up that so that Quatermain couldn't help. But at that point, there's only 5 seconds left anyway. So they're not going to be able to make it happen. And the biggest issue with them is that they're waiting too long and Sebiobi gets his EMP. If they had pushed before Sebiobi gets his EMP back and after they've already forced out the grab, there's an opportunity. Otherwise, you are just wasting your time. You're just waiting for them to get game-wiping ultimates.
Right. They didn't just stop being so hesitant and just make these moves. Be a little bit more decisive is what you're
Leave
saying.
Fury at the back to help Badoshin. The rest of you push forwards. Put pressure on Mano. Force them out and actually take the fight to them. Don't just leave it to New York.
Right. Well, okay, so would you say that that's what they need to do moving forward in this match, which is what I was getting ready to ask you?
They do. They need to be in there with a little bit more aggression. They need to get those first picks. New York is actually surprisingly bad when they're short-handed. Their win condition in team fights when they're 1 or even 2 men down is very, very small. So London needs to channel their aggressor again, and I think they did fantastic. The last series we saw from them, Gesture and Prophet, both have been playing incredibly aggressive, and that worked out really well for them. I understand that that's scary against New York because they are usually the ones playing back and baiting your aggression out, and that historically didn't really work out well for teams.
Now, talking about historics, this is the head-to-head of all time with Excelsior versus Spitfire. Stage 1 playoffs 2018, that 3-2 was a reverse sweep.
Yeah.
We know that the London Spitfire are capable of these reverse sweeps, but the
the more recent matches, Stage 3, Stage 4, and now Stage 3 of 2019, it's looking like the NYXL have just got the upper hand.
Right. The download is complete when it comes to that. All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Right now, the NYXL are currently up 2-0. Will the London Spitfire wake up and make this a game? We'll find out in just a bit.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
In the Overwatch League to date, the only victories for the London Spitfire over the NYXL came in reverse sweeps, and today, if they're going to win, it's going to have to be the case once more, Matt.
I mean, they're going to have to figure out the Sombra composition that New York is throwing at them, like Sideshow was saying during halftime. They've had no answer for it. A lot of the times where, they should be getting aggressive, they're just kind of sitting back, letting Sable B just farm these EMPs. It's the exact opposite way you need to play against this. You need to be aggressive against the Sombra composition.
Now, this match is actually quite important in terms of divisional results. Both of these teams, of course, are from the Atlantic Division, where the NYXL reigns supreme once more. I mean, plus 32 there. Well, I mean, the Atlantic Division kind of struggling in general, to be honest. But you see, between them and the Spitfire, they want that first seed.
Yeah, you get a first-round bye.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the season playoffs, I mean, it is massive. NYXL wins this match with their map differential and their overall season record. They're kind of good. Like they're
pretty much
good.
kind of saleable, I'll be honest.
I mean, they're looking real good. I mean, considering like everybody else in the Atlantic is just kind of like beating up on each other from like 3rd to 7th place.
A lot of red in that map differential column, Matt. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it's
Not pretty. But substitution-wise, we have a sub at main support here for the London Spitfire. So Quatermain comes out and Nuss is back in.
So this is interesting, where I said you needed to get more aggressive. You sub out your Lucio for your previous Lucio, who probably has some more experience, going up against him. You can take a look where Nuss ranks, per 10 minutes this season on Lucio. Those deaths, keep them down, right? You get those offensive assists. Playing aggressively, I think that's what you need to see here from Nuss and the London Spitfire.
It's kind of interesting to me, Matt, because Quatermain in their match against Boston previously had, there were 3 team fights in which he got first kills and London won all those fights. So he was playing aggressively, but it could be a communication thing as well. Maybe the calling's not where they need it to be. You do need to be coordinated to work around that Sombra. Hollywood is going to be our next map here. The defenders often set up on this high ground. Again, New York need to capture the point on the low ground, and once they've done that, they'll get to move the payload throughout the map.
And this is a pretty strong Sombra map in general, where there's a lot of areas to flank and get behind. If London do not deal with this well, I mean, look, let's see where SaveLB goes here. I mean,
Whoa! He just got spotted out by a whip shot. Was that? Okay, that's pretty cute. He's gonna have to get out. Was that
that is a really nice whip shot.
Was that a predictive one, or was he revealed slightly?
He could have been revealed, or they had an idea that's sort of the angle.
Possible that Prophet revealed him with spam into that sort of small room, but regardless, SaveLB's on the point now. Someone needs to deal with this. Birdering looks like he drew the short straw, and he'll go out and start swinging that mace around. Fend off SaveLB. He's already 1/3 of the way towards his ultimate, and this is good. In SaveLB's absence, the London start a fight now at 65.
Forward. That's all they need to do, Mitch. Is just go forward. Like, look, the Sombra's behind. Like, if you just go deal with it and then just push everybody forward, just like Josh was talking about at halftime, like, you will see good things happen. Like, when you let the Sombra just, farm EMP, force you to move back, that allows NYXL to move up, take more space. It allows Jonak to deal more damage. That's what they want to happen. London needs to be aggressive.
NYXL knows in a pitched battle they're going to struggle. They need to find a pick early, but London are up on this perch here. It's pretty hard to actually get clean kills. SaveLB can't do it. If he goes up there, he's going to be stunned very quickly. Once more, here we go. Spitfire go forward. Gesture actually got hacked this time, and he's on the front line. Nice transcendence from Bidoshin, though, just to keep Gesture and Co alive. Good response, but that hack forced out a transcendence for London.
It wasn't even the hack, really. It was actually a bubble from Prophet who goes on a Fury instead of Gesture when he jumped down, and then they kind of got a little bit of a trouble there. It's going to be Sound Barrier that comes down from London, as they will end up, it looks like they were going to take this fight, but the grab comes in late. Not a lot of follow-up, though.
Yeah, Nene was there. He was charged up, but he's going to get picked off by Bidoshin. They still attempted to go for the grab, did New York.
Yeah, which was interesting.
They were short-handed. Because we know they don't do well in that situation.
Because it looked like a fight, like up until the grab point, where it was definitely going to go in favor of London. So they had that extra sustain, right? You know, they did a nice job using those support ultimates. And then they used the grab, and you're kind of looking at it like, oh, well, maybe they can turn this. Like, the grab's off the point, but just no damage there to follow it up.
Gesture. That's an Earth Shatter there. Mano does not have his currently. And SaveLB gets taken out early, so now you go forward.
Yep.
You don't have to go overly aggressive here, because SaveLB being dead, NYXL won't commit to a fight. They won't try and go head-to-head.
I think you get aggressive. You build some of these ultimates. I mean, you had to use a lot of them in the previous fight. I mean, now you're going to be way ahead in terms of grab. You push up, you get a shatter, you have your self-destruct here.
London are looking good. There's only a minute left. New York need to capture point A, and they've not really even gotten a tick of permanent progress.
It's just the difference in play. This time they bubble Fury again, and then I think
That's
Fury
so
just
rude.
gets right in front of Gesture.
Transcendence had to be used there for NYXL. They need to get some value out of it to New York, and that means they need to go aggressive. But the Graviton Surge is going to make that impossible. They're all held in place, and Prophet brings the arm of justice down. And Nene will not be allowed to keep the charge again throughout the fight. And now NYXL, it's last chance saloon.
They're going to have a potential EMP here. You're going to have to let him farm up. Mono will have Shatter. Jonak's going to switch over to Ana here. So just kind of like last ditch effort. Maybe you're able to get like a big biotic grenade, deny some of the healing.
He knows he's not going to have enough time to get a Transcendence play. If he can get a sleep, that can turn the fight around straight away. Look at Prophet. 100 charge on that Zaya. So he is doing a maximum damage. And they're going to push in. Gesture gets the bubble. SaveLB's on point here. Oh, he's forced back! Bidoshin made it impossible for SaveLB to even contest, but they get Gesture on the high ground. New York now had the player advantage, and they're looking to exacerbate it. SaveLB finally gets a chance to use an EMP. Bidoshin's at the back. He has to run away, but he's caught by a biotic grenade. Jonak makes the switch to Ana, and it pays off now. New York finally break through. It took everything they had. But as the wick burns down in overtime, they will be able to capture point A, and they will be able to play the rest of the map.
And that was actually turnable for London.
Oh, no.
The issue, though, as you see Fury, he'll get slapped here. He's in trouble. The issue for London is that Nuss does not make it around the corner far enough where he gets hit by the EMP. If he doesn't get hit, they have Sound Barrier in that position. Prophet will end up getting grab, and then they have Gesture coming back off a spawn with Shatter. That is a winnable fight for London. It's just a good EMP that comes in from SaveLB.
SaveLB, who almost fell. One more orb from Bidoshin, and that would have been lights out. But now New York can start moving, and yeah, they want to really gain some momentum early. So, Graviton Surge comes in. Jonak tries to get in behind them with a nasty little bite grenade and hits 3. Gesture hacked up. Can't do much about this. Now the self-destruct over the top. It's blocked by Mano. London tried to give themselves some room to breathe and to retreat here, but Nas, that's very deft. He flicks around the side and gets the boot, but look how low the rest of the London Spitfire are. Mano gets 2 with the fire strike and a nano boost to boot. Only 1 letter away from Nano. It makes sense that Mano would be tasked with the extermination duties. London, oh wow, that was rough.
And now you start getting rolling, right? I mean, you have the EMP, so you can use EMP with a biotic grenade. Deny all the healing that would come through with a Transcendence. It would be pretty bad to see them waste that ultimate. Look at this. So they're going to be able to connect this up. So they don't even use it. They're going to back out now here at NYXL. I mean, they used the Transcendence early.
EMP won't cancel that Transcendence. I think Vidoshin realized he had to use his Transcendence first. Otherwise, he'd have it taken away from him or wouldn't have the opportunity to use it when it counted. Oh, he's lost his shield. Sabiobi, that EMP comes in, and Zenyatta very vulnerable when he's hacked. That's pretty much done and dusted right there. That second checkpoint will be captured.
But, like, you literally got nothing with that Transcendence. You Transcendence to get to the cart, and then they just ran away and set the EMP up.
Well, London used their speed boost to sort of try and get in position to fight, so NYXL just ran away. They know they're not going to fight when there's a Transcendence in play.
They have a speed boost as well. They just speed boost and go backwards.
It's like a huge warning sign, like, do not attack us because we're just going to heal. You're not going to be able to do anything.
So do you, who do you nano here for NYXL? I mean, you could nano Mono, let him swing into the grab.
I want Mono.
Grab first.
Mono e Nano. That's what I want.
Fury taking a snooze up on the high ground.
I like how the mech twitches a bit, you know. Straight to the London Spitfire go now, but guess what? They walk straight into a grab. The trap is sprung. Gesture flattened. As the charge comes in from Mano in the London Spitfire now. The alarm bells are starting to klaxon that because they are in trouble. They're not even where they need to be. They're on the wrong side of the map. Nuss in danger. Jonak starting to connect some consecutive darts onto the enemy. Lucio doesn't find the sleep, but it doesn't matter. He gets cleaned up regardless. Complete disarray for London Spitfire. They were told to scramble the jets, not scramble for survival. And now that the end of the map right there, the London Spitfire have a sound barrier, but who's going to touch? Gesture's going to attempt to get close now.
Yeah, the Ana switch has really been nice here for NYXL. Big EMP here. Sabobi's going to line it up.
God, he's just been making a beeline for Bidoshin at every opportunity. Shutting down the Zenyatta play. We talked about Bidoshin as a key player at the start of this match. And he has been nullified once more by Saviobi on that somber slow start for NYXL, but they start rolling, churning through the map, and they finish Hollywood now with a bit of time, and they'll be happy with that one. 41 seconds in the bank. We'll be back in just a second as the London Spitfire have a chance now to go on the attack. They will need to finish the map themselves, and the players will just take a breather. Sabi will be doing just that. We'll be back in just a moment. This has to be one of the more disheartening scenarios for the London Spitfire, Matt. They were so close to full holding the NYXL on point A. This point right here, their defense looked honestly watertight until the last fight, until Sabiobi hits a big EMP.
I actually think that if Nuss does not get hit by that EMP and they get that sound barrier off, they have a really good chance of getting that full hold. I mean, it is that close. Like, just being in the line of sight to the EMP is... see, Grand Finals tickets are on sale. It's going to be awesome in Philly. I mean, last year's Grand Finals was awesome in the Barclays Center. This one's going to be just as good.
Getting over the East Coast for big events like that is always a great time. So if you can, join us. Just join us online. It's also fun. Sabiobi, you've been spotted. He knows it. Little laser hair removal provided by Profit for a moment. But Sabiobi eats his Weetabix. He'll be fine. Here's the push now. Jester, look, they are really trying to close the gap on New York and not give them any space here. Will it work? I mean, they've overwhelmed Mano. Profit was the one that got hacked there, but they don't really seem to be too bothered by it. And New York now have been split, spread back of the point, and London are capturing.
I mean, they could just, ignore the Sombra and just push on through.
Yeah. And they're doing that.
Yeah, once you get that first pick, like, there's no diva to peel with defense matrix or anything. Just
dangerous.
Run right through them. I mean, that is how you play against this composition. It's really weird that we see London. They have success when they get aggressive, and then, like, 2 fights from now, they'll just play completely passive and never do it again.
So you're already preparing yourself to be let down, Matt. Is that what you're saying? I don't know, man. London look good off the bat.
Like, I mean, I watched the first 2 maps. I kind of know. I kind of seen this before, right?
Matt, looking at Kirby's enthusiasm here, but London have to focus on the prize. They've got a lot of time in the bank, 5 minutes and 14 seconds, and they do have to at least finish the map, but at this rate, they'll have a lot more time bank available to them than New York when it goes to replaying. Sabiobi, though. Oh, yep, he got him.
Okay, well, there, Fury needs to at least turn. Like, if Fury just saves his defense matrix and uses it to just eat up all that damage Sabiobi is doing in the back line.
So worth it, right?
So you use that, then you get the speed boost, and you push everybody else on forward. You're in a good spot. Like,
that's something Nene will be looking for. Nene will be trying to see if Fury turns around.
I want London to use nothing here. I want them to know the EMP is coming.
Well, they go for a preemptive Transcendence. Can they win the fight with it? No. Looks like they got caught out in the grab. New York did use a lot, though. They used an Earth Shatter now. Transcendence from Jonak. Libero's going to use the rally, 4 ultimates and counting for New York. And yes, it's been enough to stave London off, but not to actually vanquish them. Both teams, though, Matt, they used a heck of a lot there. They did the opposite of what you wanted to see.
But New York knows that they have the EMP. They know the sound barrier is available. They know they cannot use sound barrier until Sabiobi uses his EMP.
Jam.
So London actually uses the self-destruct to split them off and push forward. So Fedosian builds up another Transcendence during that. I would have liked to see London ideally run into that in a junk fight, get EMP'd, ran over, came back with all 6 ultimates, and then take it, but...
Isn't that ironic that
you have a different idea?
London uses so many ultimates and they end up winning the fight just with clever placement of a single self-destruct. Sabiobi, well, I was about to get his Batman impression on. Down he goes. Fedosian gets EMP'd and he can't hide away from this one. There's really not much to be done. And this now gives NYXL the chance to build up 2 big ultimates they used in the fight prior to this one. That is Earth Shatter and Graviton Surge. They're now back on deck.
A lot of progress, though, made by London. I mean, this is going to really kind of ruin their time as Fury now will get taken out. You will have all 3 support ultimates, though, for the London Spitfire.
Sabiobi knows Fury isn't there right now, right? So he can spawn camp, he can do whatever he wants.
I wonder if he's going to try and hack Fury off of some spawn.
Hey, pay attention to me. Hey.
Peppering him with some bullets.
He got what he wanted.
A little bit all charge, man. I mean, Sombra, with all the tanks, you can build up ultimate so quick. I mean, that's kind of the idea of including it in this comp.
Yeah, big, spongy, squishy targets that can't really get in touch with you. There it is, Graviton Surge being used. Fedosian does he have the Transcendence in the back line there? Sabiobi's don't even think about EMP in this fight. He's not going to get it, but the Transcendence is good. Oh, Mano, he got knocked back during that Earth Shatter. And as a result, it was only Birdring that got caught out by it. Jester's able to find 2, and he has an Earth Shatter himself, but he won't need to use it. London wipe the floor with New York. Despite them using both the Shatter and the Grab, also a rally in that fight. They used so much New York, and they still lost.
Well, it's a better pin than Gesture even knows. I mean, Gesture, he pins Libero, And when he's taking Libero for the ride, he actually takes Libero into Sabiel B's translocator, and he swings his hammer, and Sabiel B translocates out, and he gets a 2-for-1 pretty much at the same time. And you could not get any more fortunate there if you're just sure.
Take the cheeky 2-for-1. London, they need a win here, or at least a break. So EMP is probably going to ruin their day a little bit. Here it comes in, and guess what? Just for Bidoshin. And yet, he was given a repair pack and kept alive. Gesture did not fare so well, and you have to think that New York want to get a bit more aggressive here and stagger London out even more. 3 minutes is a lot to have in the time bank for London.
I mean, it wasn't a great EMP. The EMP only connects with Gesture and Bidoshin.
That Murdering wasn't hacked, so we could just give Bidoshin a repair pack. Even some armor, which is very good against Sombra. It's very strong against damage that comes in small amounts, like multiple little projectiles. Chatter. Oh, that didn't look very good there from Mano. It's going to be the Transcendence here now for NYXL. The Graviton Surge connected. Nasa would avoid getting pinned by Mano, though. And here come London once more. It's a 6v5. They favor in numbers, and Prophet is charged up. He's ready to rumble. The gloves are on, and it's a knockout.
It's like now being on offense, they obviously have to be aggressive by nature, and it's definitely like this is something they should take over to the defensive side.
A bit more organic for them here, right?
To just be aggressive on offense. And
that's one thing in Overwatch that stymied a lot of teams, is having to be so aggressive while you're defending. It just doesn't. It's not intuitive sometimes, but you have to do it. That shield is low. That shield is broken. Maybe the resolve of the NYXL is, but Jonak was able to find Gesture. Even though his main tank shield had gone down, they were able to stabilize there. What happened there?
It's a solo hack from Sabiel B onto Nux. Like, maybe you would have ended up using Sound Barrier there to try and save Gesture. You just really had nothing to keep him up. Kind of fortunate they don't use it because it probably gets EMP'd off. I mean, at that point, though, if you're London, you would like to see the EMP just go away.
Are we heading into the danger zone for London here now?
Oh, yeah, without
35?
I mean, a minute 35. They're going to get close to all of their ultimates here in New York. All I have to do is EMP, pretty much win one fight, right? And then you're still walking in all these ults.
NYXL, if they can use a minimum of ultimates here, they can win the map. That's huge. Sabiel B, he just wants to know. Oh, yep, fair enough. You got to go for the Transcendence there. Both teams are going to use it. In fact, that means that Sabiel B is going to have a chance to hit a big EMP when London doesn't really have any defensive ultimates. Animo needs to hold on to that sound barrier. If he uses it, it will get stripped from his team when EMP comes down, but he goes for it anyway. He's going to have to do it. There it is. Jonak, Sabiel B, and they all get in there. And the London Spitfire, they've got to be hating it.
And Nuss gets the sound barrier off, but like half the team's already dead by that time, so
I mean, credit, he
can't get anything with it.
He did wait until the EMP before he used the sound barrier, but in waiting, he lost his opportunity to get the most amount of efficiency from it. Clever.
Fury's got to go all the way back, make the change.
Sabiel B again, just here to cause problems. Fury has now returned. There you go. So he does use that defense matrix there to protect Bidoshin. He needs to do that a bit more because Sabiel B is going to dig his teeth in. He's not going to let go. Gesture now having to trade in the neutral for a brief period with Mano here. He's taking a lot of damage, though. We need to be careful. He's got an Orb of Discord on him as well. That shield is low. Jess is in trouble. He has to go for something here. He's been forced out of position. There's the bubble. Good timing from Prophet. Keeps him alive. Gives his healers time to heal that Rhine up. They have to go now. This is last fight for London. They've already popped the rally. NYXL know what London are trying to do here. But a Graviton Surge comes in. The timing is just perfect. You couldn't have asked for much better. But the Transcendence also comes down now from Bidoshin, and Mano has been removed. London now have a player advantage. Shatter, Libero caught. Donak has to come forward with the Transcendence, and it keeps Libero alive. That's big. That's bought New York enough time for the reinforcements to return to the fray, but they get caught in the grab. It's too late. Nene down. Big EMP onto two players at the very least. But no one's there to touch for London. And in their dying moments, London just get themselves towards the end of the map. They guaranteed themselves a little bit more playtime map, but it was anything but pretty.
Look, they're able to get it into extra innings, so that's the big thing for London. Their defense was good. We'll see if they can repeat it right after this. Welcome back. NYXL versus London Spitfire. Extra innings here on Hollywood. And there was that one play from Gesture I was talking about where he gets the pin through the grab. We can take a look at it here. So see, he gets the pin here on the Libero, and then he goes right where Sabio's translating, hits him as well, and gets the 2-for-1. Like, you could not be any more fortunate. Sabio 75% to the EMP there. Like, he lives there. It may have stopped him.
He lives there. He gets the mini health pack inside the jail. He goes back to harassing in that fight. And New York are a player up. All right, so London out the gate said, yep, Sabio's going to keep doing this, man. He's never going to stop.
Just be aggressive. I mean, they were able to take point A pretty convincingly on their offense. Like, if you're London, this is a super winnable map.
London only have one real fight here. Sabio can get EMP. It doesn't matter what London managed to accrue in terms of their own ultimates because they won't have a chance to use them. So they quickly push forward. I love this great aggression. This could cause some problems from New York now. But in the back line, as always with Sabio, you got Discord up, but Birdring is low. Gesture low. Jonak now just keeping his distance. Bedosian can't find purchase with those orbs. But London are capturing. Almost one tick of permanent progress. Birdring hacked. He's in deep trouble now. And as Bedosian actually to go down, they've lost to Zenyatta in New York. They play the long game. They get off the point, they give London the space, and then they collapse. They form a concave, and that EMP now is more for celebration than anything else. New York, fantastic defense.
And that guarantees a draw, so that guarantees the series for NYXL. And, you know, looking online, like everyone, you know, not really happy with Sabio B's performance the other day. Today, you got to be pretty happy with it. The first push there from London, he breaks it up completely by getting a hack on a Prophet, so you're not able to use those bubbles on a Gesture. That's how Gesture gets low. They have to back up. That last one, you get the hack on a Bird Ring. He's not able to use the repair pack and whatnot, and you're able to win that fight as well. Two really smart plays there from Sabio B.
With a draw on this particular map, that would mean that neither team would get a point from that, and there'd only be one map left in the pool, which would not be sufficient for London to get 2 points. That's why New York have already secured themselves the victory in the series. Now, it's a matter of getting the job done in style. 1:41 is the time they'll have to work with. London just prefer, I mean, we haven't really seen Guard in the roster for a while. He was obviously playing a bit of that Sombra when he first landed on the Spitfire, but they've gone away. They've gone towards a more traditional 3-3, and it has struggled against this Sombra man.
They have not had an answer for it today. I mean, Sabio B has 44 enemies hacked, 29 enemies EMP.
That's on this map, by the way.
On this map.
That's insane.
You know, 12 final blows, only 6 deaths. I mean, doing a nice job staying alive as well. It's had a fantastic series. I think against the Houston Outlaws, I think you saw, you know, I thought the Outlaws came out, played a really good game. I also think you saw SBB trying to get some of the rust off, so to speak.
On the point now, Sabio just harassing a lot of those heads on the London Spitfire being turned towards him. So Sabio is hoping his team can actually make hay while the sun shines, as it were. Gesture, though, wants to push forward. Mano less aggressive, and Animo couldn't get to safety. Now, this is good for the Spitfire, at least if they want to draw here. New York now are staggered. They're a long way from home. They don't want to be here. And London have no real reason to clean them off quickly, but they've lost Gesture. This could be dangerous. They need to be careful. Oh, Birdring's gone down. London Spitfire, this was supposed to be a routine job for them. New York had already lost 2 players before the fight had begun, but now there's a Transcendence. What a disaster. An unmitigated crisis for the London Spitfire. Now New York can move to capturing the point. This was never supposed to be this way, but sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. And the NYXL claim the 3-0 now, winning a fight they had no business doing.
Yeah, you do not want to go into a room with a Brigitte and a Zenyatta, especially when it's Libero and Jonak, as the Discords are flying, Libero able to keep them alive, pick up some eliminations. They only needed the 1 tick, but just those few elims at the beginning, good enough to do it. NYXL 3-0, it'll be their series to see if they can get the sweep after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Well, led by their fearless leader of all, the NYXL have reasserted their dominance, and it is thumbs up from Captain Sabiobi. And today he has looked absolutely stunning on that Sombra role. London, by contrast, well,
It's great to see him back on the stage. I mean, a fan favorite from last year. I mean, some of the stuff he can do on like Tracer and whatnot.
he was a fan favorite this year.
Like,
People were lamenting his
yeah.
absence, man.
It's good to see him back, being very effective on Sombra today here against the London Spitfire. Like I mentioned, he comes up with like 45 hacks during that map. Not close to the record. I was like, oh man, what's the record? Ding's got it with 74. I would not have wanted to play that map,
Yes.
whoever that was against.
I would not have wanted to be the Reinhardt.
I apologize on our behalf that you were hacked that many times. That's unreal.
However, his playstyle is looking similar to Ding's map. Yeah. He's doing a lot of spawn camping, he's doing a lot of harassment, he's spending a lot of time trying to make life hard for Bidosian. And now, having re-established their supremacy at the top of the Atlantic Division, New York, he can just enjoy the ride.
And it'll be Havana close things out. Our newest map in Overwatch, newest map in the Overwatch League. And I think you put Sabiel B into play, Sombra. I think Meko could probably play it, but you know how good Sabiel B is on Tracer. Why not try him on Sombra? Like they kind of share like similarities.
The mindset is absolutely similar. You play around the fringes. You have a get out of jail free card in terms of translocators. You do with recall.
It's a way more impactful ultimate.
Yeah. You do less dueling, I suppose, with your opposite number as Sombra here, but Sabiobi has gotten well and truly behind the London Spitfire, and they can't do anything about this at all. Sabiobi can sort of sit on the high ground or back behind them in general and cause the problems. NYXL, though, are getting battered, though the front line of London hitting him hard, and NNA goes down early. Bidosian able to find the pick, and NYXL will be cowed for the time being.
Sometimes London, they look like they know how to play against this. And then once like one EMP and then they win the fight, that's when it seems like things fall apart. Like,
well, it's like someone who watched the lectures but didn't do any of the coursework, I suppose. Like they know the concept of dealing with this Sombra, but in practice it's much harder.
Which is weird because we've seen with them deal with it before. Like we've seen them beat teams that have run this against them before. It's just today against New York.
Well, we're turning around because Sabiobi hijacked the payload for a brief moment.
Well, yeah, he actually hacks Bidosian, who has the Transcendence. He didn't have that ability to save them. His gesture goes in with a pin to close the gap here, force them back a little bit.
Close to a Transcendence here is Profits. Nene a little bit further away. Graviton search, should I say. Nene a little bit further away from that grab himself, and he's about to get blown up. Profit sitting back. NYXL are trying to jump upon individual players and pick them off here, but that rally made it pretty hard.
So get this, you know, I was talking about like EMPs in a map, whatnot.
Yeah.
So our record for enemies hacked in a series, Savior B falls here at the hands of Prophet, is 239 from RCK. Savior B, you've seen the impact he's made.
I bet you that was
he's under like 100
yeah.
for like the whole series. It's like very close.
I guarantee you that was probably against Hangzhou when it was like Godsby versus RCK just hacking everything in sight.
That's unreal though. I mean,
Profit, Graviton.
Yes.
There's a Transcendence here though, so unlikely we're going to see too many early kills come away as a result of those grabs, but this is where it gets interesting now. We're in Earthshatter territory, and there's an EMP for Saviolbi. We can have an EMP Earthshatter combo here. If New York can find a way to corral London out into the open. There it is. EMP comes in. Bidoshin. No! He's not going to get away. Long range with the Uzi. Saviolbi still gets out. He actually has to throw his own translocator. Fury trying to get him there, but he just keeps stepping back.
I like how he said they need to force him out into the open when Saviolbi can just throw the translocator over the top.
I mean,
EMP in midair, and then
London
everybody
kind
comes
of
on through.
Out in the open by default. Yeah. Really, this is the way the map works. But the fact that Saviolbi could translocate in and then translocate out, that's pretty nice.
Everybody on London just spread. Like, I think everyone was so scared to just get picked off that they all spread, which in turn gets them eliminated one by one. Sound barrier to open things up here for New York.
Turns out that RCK, that was against Boston, by the way. Jester goes down, a 1-for-1 trade. Those Libero's already fallen. And you can see that, well, yeah, Jonak had to use Transcendence there because Fury managed to find him on his own and was threatening him. Bidoshin will fall there. Nene was able just to laser him down on the right side of the point. So, XL build up that momentum for that previous EMP fight. Guess what? They almost have another one.
They have just looked so good today running this comp. The only thing you wonder, though, is like, against a team that would deal with this better, like against a Shock or like a Titans, you have this lineup out there. What do you do?
New York are scarred from losing that game against the Seoul Dynasty to knock them out of those playoffs, those Stage 1 playoffs. That was when Libero tried to grab Michelle. That they decided to use it themselves. Nene, speaking of grabs, that one got 8.
That's the first one of the series, I think, for Fury as well. Like, he's had to use so much of his Matrix to try and protect the supports. It's a little bit of a change, right? Where he's so good at holding onto it to the final few seconds as Jodak being pushed all the way back here as he has gone over to Ana.
Why do you think that is? Why are we switching Ana here?
I think you can be pretty aggressive with the high ground here, at close quarters. Like, at this point, I think is going to be one of the harder ones for teams to deal with. I mean, just look at this choke they can play here. You can play on the high ground. Like, you almost want the biotic grenade and the nano to kind of deter them from getting super aggressive. Because let's say they get really aggressive, they go to swing, you hit them with a biotic grenade, you can make a play on that. It's just...
Well, what we see that Jonak has done before, he has flanked an enemy team on his own, and when he gets into their midst, he will throw a biotic grenade at the ground, affecting as many as he can, and then he just skips off back to his team.
They bubble him, protect him.
Yeah. I mean, so Saviolbi wants to do most of the flanking here, but and you can see Fury, it looks like he's shooting at nothing, but he's trying to reveal Saviolbi. But Ocean actually had some armor there from the rally. Still, so that made it very hard for him to get finished off, even though he didn't have any shield. However, that's just an asterisk. The rest of the fight, NYXL finished admirably.
Yeah, I mean, they get split a little bit as Gesture on the low ground, Fury as well. They do not get hit by the EMP. The EMP connects with everybody on high, but you don't have the repair pack. You lose, 2 of your tanks. You're in a very difficult position there. So you're talking about Jonak getting set up. They come through this choke, maybe hit a sleep dart.
I know he's there. I've seen him, and he is in trouble. He actually still gets a biotic grenade on towards Gesture, so he wasn't going to stay alive. Self-destruct. Mono definitely moves his shield in that direction and protects his team from the blast. The London Spitfire, well, I thought they had actually managed to see through what NYXL had done, but Jonak is prickly. Even if you know he's there, he's going to cause you pain.
Look, I mean, you don't even really need to use anything there for New York. I mean, you did use some ultimates, but you probably even win that fight without them, as the biotic grenade on a Gesture is really enough. You take Gesture out, they can't really kind of walk through that choke.
I mean, this is dangerous. I mean, for London, when they get inside this fort, it's going to be extremely easy for Saviolbi to hit all of them with the MP. Now they're out in the open. It's going to be pretty easy for Saviolbi to hit them as well. It's only those tanks that really break line of sight for this next stretch of map. So that EMP will be devastating one way or another. But Ocean Transcendence there uses it immediately, even though he was biotic grenaded. He's invulnerable when he uses that. Yeah, well, this is going to hurt now, isn't it? Graviton Surge. Saviolbi waits here. He knows his team might actually lose the fight with the grab being used, so he holds off on it. But a 1-for-1 trade with Bidoshin going down, that's not bad, but it's an open area, and the NYXL lacking their biggest shield. They're still going to go for it, though. Big EMP, and Justin has stood there dumbfounded. He knew he was done.
Yeah, I mean, London, they know New York knows there's the Shatter available for Gesture. You don't have your main tank, you don't have a shield. So you know there's the opportunity for the Shatter to come down. What do? You decide to EMP everyone standing around the car, probably waiting for Gesture to shatter, and then you just run right through them. Man, this Sombra comp from New York has looked really, really good today.
Nano Boost available for Mano. Mano Inano once more. Eventually, London have to commit to the payload. They really don't want to have to fight, but they don't have a choice. Nene has that Graviton Surge. Rally here. Looks like NYXL don't mind that there was a rally used by the Spitfire. They're going to go in anyway, and Gesture once again. Biting Grenade. Connects. And the Nano Boost, Matt.
Jonak on the flank. Puts Fury to sleep. Then they use the grab. Oh, man. Just way too good today in New York.
Libero got the Nano Boost there as well. They realized, well, hey, the more damage Libero does, the more of those Inspire procs, the more healing we're going to get. Brigitte obviously able to heal while she is attacking. Fight the Paladin of the team. And yes, NYXL were able to push through him in Nano Boost. There was no choice for Lana but to stand and face a Nano Boosted target, whether it was a Reinhardt or a Brigitte. It was going to be painful one way or another. The Ana switch for Jonak here has been gainful.
What's interesting is London can't really... Like, London can play a Winston comp against this, right? But, like, if they wanted to play Sombra, they wanted to mirror, what would you do? Because Fury can play Zarya, but, like, not probably at the level of, like, Bird Ring or Prophet. And this is why they would have Guard in the lineup, right? Because Prophet could go play Brig. Or you can have, Fury play some... Fury could play the Sombra for this team. I mean, we've seen Fury play Sombra in the past. It's interesting. They're going to keep going with the Reinhardt 3-3 against it. Look, I mean, you might as well try and get better against it. I mean, at this point, what do you have to lose, right? Just the map on the record? Yeah.
Here's an Nano Boost, by the way. So Jonak, a signature flank position for him. Sleep on Fury, by the way, so Nene can grab. Perfect. What a setup. You cannot ask for much more than that. Yeah. Biting Grenade connected on the Gesture. That was just beautiful. Jonak the instigator.
You know, you're so worried about Savior B, you're worried about Jonak when he's playing Zen. Now you have to worry about him like flanking on the Ana. Like, there's a lot you have to worry about here if you're London. You're going to play close here.
Manu there as well in his shield, so we can actually see a bit further around that corner as his camera will switch to third person when he has his shield up. Sabiobi, Bidosin trying to throw shapes and orbs. Going to force SBB back. Then they took a beating from Bidosin there, who's looking to charge up his next Transcendence as fast as possible, playing these off angles. Has to be careful and try and protect his mate. Nels, but he couldn't! He just watches as Sabiobi guns him down. And Jonak helping.
Yeah, I mean, SBB is on one side, they hack Nuss, and he's putting so much damage that Bidosin turns, throws orbs at Sabiobi. Nuss looking over towards Sabiobi as well, doesn't realize he's kind of has a line of sight through the doorway, and Jonak just threw some orbs in there, takes him out. So
I think Bidosin thought he'd done enough by just body blocking for Sabiobi, but Jonak was watching, and Jonak will be ready to use a Transcendence fairly soon as well. Look at Sabiobi, can do this all day long. Oh, okay, maybe not.
No, definitely not.
The micro rocket burst damage. Sabiobi wasn't ready for it either, wasn't able to translocate or wasn't expecting to have to pull the pin so quickly. Now the Spitfire trundle forward at this right-hand side. They forced Jonak to go for the Transcendence here, and New York need to turn this into a win immediately. They need to regain control of the payload, and it works out. They don't just use their Transcendence for disengagement, they use it to win the fight.
But that's where, if you're London, you would have liked to see them decide to speed boost out. You force out Transcendence, speed boost away. I mean, maybe they use the boost to get to that position, but you don't have that speed to get away in that type of scenario.
Bidosin has the Transcendence in advance now. They have to preemptively Transcendence, I believe. Because they know Sabiobi, they have to know it's been a minute and 55 seconds.
But here's what happens, though. They Transcendence to go in.
NYXL disengage.
They disengage.
Yep. Oh, well.
Or you don't get it off at all.
Bidosin got blown off. Yeah, I mean, he got EMP'd, so that is going to happen. Maybe he was expecting that. Maybe he knew it wasn't worth trying to use his Transcendence before the EMP.
And now you have Jonak already back at another Transcendence.
Yeah. So the window is passed where Bidosin had Transcendence and Jonak did not.
I mean, what do you do?
Lose the game. You lose the game.
5 ultimates online for the London Spitfire. No EMP available here this time, though, for the NYXL.
Wow, so much damage early.
He's been so great with these individual hacks as well. That
That fire strike. Unmitigated damage coming in. Now the Transcendence had to be used. Jonak now going to use his. Minosha dumbfounded. Jonak's got 2 Transcendences in the time. They've had to just use one of them. That's the reality that he faces playing against a Sombra who threatens to take away his ability to use his ultimates. And guess what? Sabiobi's encroaching on yet another EMP. Gesture attempted to go for a shatter earlier, but Manu was the one that found the mark, and London get wrecked. Absolutely dominated once more, and there it is, the EMP available. They are cycling through these ultimates. London now have nothing for this next fight, and the EMP is going to crush them.
And Jonak holds on to the Transcendence a little bit longer than Badoshin, and then they have the sound barrier that they layer right on top of it after that. You're not going to lose a fight in that type of scenario as Animo goes back, bring Libero back into the fight. But look, you're going to have a grab. They're going to get an EMP obviously here as well. I mean, you're in a great spot if you're New York to just win this. Maybe even an EMP shatter, EMP grab. I mean, either is great.
3-player fire strike there, and Sabiobi is going to ring the doorbell.
He knows they need to step out into the open.
Maybe it looks like they've tracked Nuss to actually be closer to his next ultimate. They're not wrong either. Trying to shut him down, okay? Trying to manual hack. Oh, that didn't go well. Sabiobi couldn't get out with the translocator. But the Graviton Surge now, it's an insurance policy, and it works out for the NYXL. The London Spitfire's premiums, though, are going to be going through the roof in the next quarter. And they'll have to cross that bridge when they get to it. There it is, stun on Gesture. He tried to go for an Earth Shatter. That got interrupted. Libero maliciously interrupting that ultimate. And the London Spitfire have had all their options taken away from the mat. Now it's all over but the crying. Fury being kept alive by a repair pack. I actually think he would have preferred to have gone back to sport and go again. There it is, Transcendence used in response to the Graviton Surge, and that was the London Spitfire's last option to stay in this. Gesture now needs to drop here on the Wrecking Ball, gets shielded by Prophet as he tries to do the do-si-do around the payload. Fire strike from Manu there would have claimed him, but Gesture now is out of options, around of time, and they're out of luck. The NYXL dominant in that victory. In matches against London Spitfire, they are 4-2, and Sabiobi's return to the roster has looked very, very good after a slow start for New York, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that one is a very quick series in favor of the NYXL. I think it just shows you like how they're going to try and move forward with this team. Play more around Sabiobi with the Sombra. Incorporate that more. I know a lot of people were upset the other day when they put him in against Houston, like, hey, we didn't look great. We have Beko, like, he's fantastic. Why isn't he in the game? I think you see why today. I think they feel really confident in the Sombra play of Sabiobi going forward.
Definitely pleased. Fury's just, he looks shell-shocked. He just doesn't know what just happened to his feet.
London took their headsets off instantly. I mean, that they knew that they were not close to beating New York today whatsoever.
Well, again, London really have to take the takeaway here is that Sombra is very good. Now, if you talk to teams like the San Francisco Shock, they'll say that they can beat it, but even the Shock on occasion have had to resort to playing that hero. Generally speaking, there are ways to play around it, Matt. There have been multiple times where you brought up, how do I deal with the Sombra? How do teams need to approach this? London were not able to do that, but it's been you and me so far. But let's now head down and talk about SBB on the stage with Danny.
Mitch and Matt, thank you very much. What is up, everybody? I am here joined by the captain, SBB of NYXL. Woo! Congratulations on your victory. And I feel like you were really popping off on Sombra, right, guys? Yeah. Day and night difference compared to a couple of days ago. Sabiobi, what changed in those past few days? 저번 경기와 좀 비교를 해보자면은 오늘 좀 세벨비 선수의 썸브라 플레이가 굉장히 많이 확연히 다른 좀 굉장히 좋게 플레이를 하신 것 같아요. 좋은 경기를 보여주셨는데 좀 뭐가 변했나요? 이 한 이틀, 3일 사이에?
일단은 게임 중에 솜브라를 플레이하면서 생각을 하는 걸 되게 많이 했고요. 연습도 되게 많이 하는 것 같아요.
So it's two things. First of all, I did get a lot of practice in the past couple of days, and also I started to kind of get in the mindset of Sombra in game, trying to understand and really trying to think of ways of utilizing Sombra for our team. All right, cool. And also, second question. So you were saying that you were the best tracer in the world last season. Do you believe you could become the best Sombra in the Overwatch League this season? 작년에는 세계 최고의 트레이서라고 말씀을 좀 하셨었는데 이번 시즌에서는 세계 최고의 솜브라가 될 수 있다고 생각하시나요?
노력해 보겠습니다.
I will try my best. Guys, do you think? Yeah, he could be the best Sombra. I believe so too. Thank you so much, SBB. Back to you guys, casters.
Thank you very much, Danny. What do you reckon, Matt? What's your report card for Saviobi Sombra today?
Oh, I mean, he was fantastic. I think you putting together games like that, you have the chance to be in the conversation with players like Ding, right? I think right now we kind of consider the best Sombra in the league.
I think so. I mean, this matchup is important to us as fans of the Overwatch League, and it's something we've been tracking for quite some time. Ooh. So the first 3 clashes between NYXL and London, that was last season, they were quite close, right? 7 and 8 was actually favouring London. 11 and 1 in the last 3 matches for the NYXL. They've had 2 4-0s and a 3-1. That's just brutal.
But I will say, the record's good against the Spitfire. Spitfire did win last year. I guarantee you, if you asked NYXL if they would have rather flipped the script, be great, kind of up and down during the regular season, and win it all, they would have taken that option. So I think, look, it's great to beat London, 2 of the Titans in the league. You got to get the wins when it matters, though, at least.
Yeah, it is most importantly go for gold at the end of the day. Let's talk about our player of the match. I think this one's really easy to pick. Thank you, Omen by HB, for bringing this one to us. It's Saviobi, you know it. I mean, look,
easy.
Easy to give him player of the match because he was the pivot, the fulcrum on which the NYXL operated.
His impact on the game today was clear from the get-go. He was going to play Sombra. London had no idea how to stop it. He was extremely effective with the way he was using the hero. You see the hacks there to break up the shatter. It's a very, very strong game after looking shaky against the Houston Outlaws.
Yeah, and you can see his intent was much clearer when we watched him play in this game. You could see he was making a beeline. He really wanted to shut down Bedosian. He did just that. You have to be pleased if you're a fan of Saviobi and of the NYXL, who, we talk about, they're up and down, they look bad here and now. I mean, they're still dominating at the top of that Atlantic division, looking very good.
Yeah, I mean, they're almost able to convert half of his enemies hacked into eliminations, which is huge, right? So you're getting a ton of value off of using those hacks and EMPs.
Coming up next, though, is going to be the Paris Eternal versus the Boston Uprising. 2 teams still with much to prove. They're trying to stay in the running for that playoff spot at the end of the season. It's going to be spicy, and we'll see you on the other side of these messages.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Огонь по готовности!